This has been a hell of a year, hasn't it? It has been one crazy year. There's a lot of wild stuff that occurred this year. Let me start off by talking about the most obvious politics. Politics has been pretty wild this year, hasn't it? I mean, we've had some wild election cycles, but this one was pretty much one like no other. So, I mean, President Biden dropped out in the middle of the race at a very inconvenient time, to say the least. And we had Vice President Harris become the nominee, going up against Trump. And I gotta say, I was a little bit more confident about this election than I was even the last two, the two before it. Unfortunately, it still didn't go our way. I know many of you are still kind of grieving and frustrated and upset about that, and you have every right to be. I completely understand it. But I have some strategies on what we can do to win 2026 and 2028. But election year was wild this year. And speaking of which, so there were two figures that I know of that we lost. One, we lost Romulus City Councilwoman Virginia Williams. Rest in peace to her. My heart goes out to her family. Thoughts, prayers, condolences. And we also lost President Jimmy Carter, who passed at 100. He just made it to that 100 mark. Milestone right there. One of the greatest human beings in history and one of the best presidents that this country has had. There was that. So lots of stuff going on with that, and there's been a number of other things that have been big in the news. I mean, you've had Susan. I had to write some of this stuff down because it's been a lot. So I was like, you know what? There's no way I'm gonna memorize all that at the top of my head. Susan Smith, who was the woman who was convicted of killing her sons in the early '90s, and she went to jail for 30 years. Well, she's still there, but this year she was eligible for parole. She was denied that parole. A lot of people feel that that was correct of them to deny the parole. I actually thought that she was going to get it, but they're like, nope, we're keeping her in. You also had, oh boy, not to mention Sean Combs, who's got five different names. But in my opinion, I said, you know what, you've lost all those names, and we're just calling you Sean now. But he of course went to jail for all that mess, the sex trafficking, and he's dragging a lot of Hollywood names down with him. Apparently you had Jay Z and Beyonce. I'm sorry, Jay Z and Jennifer Lopez's name got dragged into it. We don't know where that's gonna go, but he got denied bail three times, and there was one source that said that it looks like he's aging in there. I don't know if his hair's getting more and more gray, skin's getting more wrinkly. I don't know what he's looking like now. But whatever he looks like now, I can't feel sorry for him. And most of you shouldn't either. There's that. We lost a number of celebrities this year: Quincy Jones, Maggie Smith, Olivia Hussey, Tony Todd, James Earl Jones, Shannon Doherty. And by the way, I went to the Fan Expo, as most of you know, in August in Chicago. And two of her co stars were there, Holly Marie Combs and Rose McGowan, who did the show Charmed. And they gave a tribute to her, which I thought was real lovely. And Shannon was supposed to be there. She passed away about a month before that event took place, and I was actually supposed to see her. So that was a downer. But I'm glad I got to see the other two. Of course, I went there also for the Scream cast. Laurie Metcalf, Jamie Kennedy, one of the stunt guys was there. I can't. Lee Waddell was there. Skeet Ulrich, Matthew Lillard. Of course, I got a picture with Skeet and Matthew. There was all that. So that was the good parts. And those are the main ones I had written down, and because I felt that those were the biggest ones. So between them, the the politics stuff, the celebrity deaths, rest in peace to all of them, and all these celebrities whose names may or may not get dragged in the mud with Sean Combs. I mean, this has just been this has been one wild year. It's been wild, and something tells me the next year is going to be just as wild, if not more wild. So I don't know. You comment below and you tell me how did 2024 go for you? And as far as with me, I mean, things have pretty much been the same over here. Just been working full time and overtime, and working up this, trying to get my name out there more and building my subscriber base and my follower base. And by the way, a little bit of good news for me here. I just hit 400 subscribers on YouTube. So I did not, I'm pretty glad about that, but I did not hit my exact goal, which was to get 500 by the end of the year. But that doesn't stop me. By the end of next year, hopefully I'll have 1,000 or even more than that. So I had a TikTok account, which I had deleted at the time. I had it, I deleted it because I figured I'm not really using this thing. I'm not really on here. And then I recently brought it back, put a few videos on there. I only got like 3 videos on there right now. So I only have like 20, 21 followers on there. But I'm going to be active on there a lot more, active on Instagram more. I'm going to do my best to try to reach out to some bigger and bigger names, especially in regards to the stuff that I'm interested in. So anything involving like the horror film festival, Comic Con, that whole thing, or people who are active in the Democratic Party. So there's some big names there, and I'm gonna try to reach out to people like Diane Neal, Tamara Tooney, Alyssa Milano, Ashley Judd, a few of them, and maybe I've talked with Jodie Sweetin a little bit. So those are the things I plan on doing. And as I said before, yeah, 2024 was a wild year, and I will do my best to be a lot more consistent going forward. I'm gonna try to make it a goal to put out 3 videos a day, at least 3. There was one day where I put out like a whole bunch, and so that was I haven't been as consistent as I should have been. But other than that, I think the year went pretty okay for me, aside from the election result. But hey, I'm not complaining about it that much. I'm an adult, I'm mature. I'm not gonna go storming the Capitol or go flipping over a car or something. All I say is, okay, we screwed it up this time. We just have to do better next time. So that's that right there. And subscribe to my YouTube, follow my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, comment below. Tell me what you think. How did 2024 go for you? So that's all I have to say about that. And until next time.